What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. Match reaction time, and the FA Cup dream is over. It is over. Crowded house can't save us on this one. Don't dream it's over. It's done for the year. Fulham win the game 2-0. Listen, Toby, Bamford was useless, but no one was scoring tonight. It was terrible in the box. We could have played till tomorrow. I don't think we would have scored a goal. I think it was just one of those games where no matter what we was doing, they were having the rub of the green, disallow goals that probably shouldn't be ruled off, but we'll talk about that. Blocks on the line by Ream, everything else. Listen, we just didn't have it tonight. 2-0, but I know it's gonna seem like one of those where we have to look for positives in it, but I just didn't think that overall it wasn't that bad overall today. But listen, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Yeah, Blinkyfish, that's my overriding thought in terms of how we played tonight, especially in the first half. We looked more organized, but just couldn't score. I know it's kind of like pretty much the story of the season, but we didn't look as organized as we did today. But listen, we'll see what happens in the next game. But I thought that there was a few good performances out there today. But yeah, listen, it's not our year to lift the cup. Maybe next season. Maybe next season. Arinder saying similar problems with finishing, unlucky. Yeah, unlucky, and just a bit more composure needed at times, Arinder. I think there was a couple of times where if they just took a breath, maybe took another step, then maybe would have scored. You saw Fulham today. What was it? 2 shots on target, 2 goals, up until the last one where Melia spilled it. 3 shots on target and 2 goals. It's about efficiency at the end of the day. And listen, we're not where we are in the league because we're great finishers. We're there because of things like tonight where we play well but not come out with the result. Scott T saying, despite the result, it looked to me like we're finally getting more of an idea what to do going forward. I was somewhat encouraged overall. Yeah. I gotta say as well, by the way, I don't listen to games with commentary, and there's a reason why. And tonight was one of those reasons for me. Listen, Shearer's he's okay. On match a day, you can take Shearer, but man, he was coming out with some absolute rubbish tonight. Some rubbish. But the problem for me with people like Shearer is because the general public do listen to pundits like Shearer, they take what they say as gospel, and if Shearer said it, then it must be true. He was going on like Bamford. He needs more confidence and more fitness. He's been playing. He was making Bamford sound like he was prime Ronaldo or something like that. It was insane tonight. Like some of the things he was saying, Ruta was hardly getting any credit for some of the stuff he was doing today. And Bamford came on with heavy touches and everything else like that. Oh, look how much sharper they look in the final third. What are you talking about? Listen, that's just me with commentary, and this is why I don't listen to a lot of games with commentary. It was brutal tonight. Scott Lightning saying McKennie had the odd bad pass, but you can see by his guile, he has guile. Adams underperformed for his standards. JP saying KG Shearer's bit about Newcastle. I was going to say, Shearer's got no reason to dislike Leeds. He used to always score against us, by the way. He always used to score against us in games. I think that we're the team that he scored against the most in his career. So it was a bit weird for me listening to him tonight. It was very frustrating at times as well. Very, very weird. Christian needs to go. Jeff saying KG thoughts on Ruta. I thought he did okay. I think he did okay today. In fact, I think he did pretty well. I think he was getting better as the game went on. And funnily enough, we had this a couple of weeks ago where people were saying that the game got away with us once Bamford came off and Ruta came on. I think it was the same today. I think once Ruta came off, we stopped creating kind of chances because he was creating some himself. There was somewhere he was coming in off the wing and dribbling past a couple of players and shooting. There was one where Somerville kept it in, and he had about 4 players around him, just moved it to the side. It was a low weak shot, but he still got it away. And I think that his disallowed goal, I think it should have counted. Let's talk about, before we talk about the Fulham goals, let's talk about Rutter's goal. That McKennie, it was like this on Wilson. I thought Bamford sold his dive against Southampton badly, but that was just as bad. But the referee bought it. And the one thing I did agree with the people at halftime is that if that goal went in, I don't think they would have disallowed it. But listen, it didn't count in the end. But I thought that should have counted. What are you guys saying? John saying it was a yellow card for simulation. Yeah, his touch is brutal. Brutal. Blinky, that goal should have stood. I feel like it. I feel like it should have. Texas Leeds is saying VAR would have let it go if the ref didn't blow his whistle. I think so too. I do. I think so too. Yeah, Andrew, he went down like he got hit by a truck. That's what I'm saying. But listen, I hope that's not a biased take. I mean, I look at everything objectively, as you know, but I just felt like there wasn't enough on contact for him to go down that way. If he's shoved like that, you're not going down in the air like this. You'll be more surprised, and you go down like a lump of bricks, not flying in the air. But listen, it got ruled out, and that's that with that one. The first half for me, I thought that we looked in control. It was just that goal that they scored, and let's talk about it. Paulinho, yeah, exactly. Paulinho today, that goal was a good strike. I've often come on here saying I wish that we would, if we're going to get beat, please beat us with a 25-yard special. Well, he did that. He did that, didn't he? So, listen, nothing for it. It was a brilliant strike. I mean, Melier, they measured that Melier was out of position by 7 yards. I don't know, and I don't know if that really. I mean, of course, it matters because it kind of curled round him into the top corner, but it was a fantastic strike. Even when I looked at it, I went, "Oof, hey, can't do nothing about that." Sometimes you just have to applaud the effort, and it was a real good strike. Is anybody giving Melier a bit of slack on that one because of how far he was out? Do you think that maybe he should just be stationary in his 6-yard box? What are you guys saying? Brendan saying, "Don't you think Rucker pulled out the challenge?" Yeah, it was a weird one, wasn't it? Adams passed it over to Rucker, who then it just looked like he ran over and passed the ball, didn't it? And then Paulinho intercepts and then just buries one, absolutely buries one. Yeah, random beautiful strike. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Uh, Bam, Christensen's getting hammered here. I haven't even talked about Rasmus yet. Yeah, Buffon would have saved everything, Jen. Buffon was amazing. He still is. He still is. Uh, Yeah, so okay, so no one's really no one's really talking about Melier here. That's fine. If you've got any thoughts in the comments, put it after. But for me, it was an outstanding strike. Second half, the game kind of got away from us, and then once they scored their second, I mean, listen, there's no one really to blame because again, it was a good 1-2, Mitrovic and Solomon, who's in a bit of decent form. The only thing I would say is that Ailing again in the last couple of weeks, stopped running with his man. Solomon, he was with Solomon for a bit, and then he just dropped into no man's land doing zonal marking in the box. So he didn't really follow him, which is not the first time. But listen, again, another good strike, bottom corner. Can't really argue with it. Can't really argue with it in my opinion, but that's just me. That's just me. Yeah, Nate, that's what I'm saying. That's my opinion of the goals tonight. Both goals were so good. Yeah, absolutely. Um, oh, somebody just said there, what about Bob saying, what about Medier for the second goal? Solomon scored exactly the same against Wolves Friday. Nah, for me, Bob's that was just a good strike. I don't think he could have done anything about it. Um, but yeah, listen, it is what it is, man. In terms of this, we're out the cup now, so it is all business on the league. Disappointing because it was a good opportunity to hit the last eight. I was starting to think about the quarterfinals and everything else like that, but now that thought's been snatched out of my head. What did people think in general of the game tonight, of just our performance? We're not going to be too long on this one tonight. Just let me know. And obviously, I haven't done all the housekeeping. Subscribe to the channel and like the video if you haven't already. Thank you. Oh, that's it as well. Callum saying no verbal, was it precautionary? I think so, but I thought both teams, lineups were strong tonight. You saw Mitrovic out there for them, Anthony Robinson, Paulinho. The only one that they would have, you'd possibly say, was a downgrade was Rodak for Leno. But I think overall, both teams put out pretty strong teams. I really like the look of our starting lineup today. Besides the defense, I don't really want to see Erasmus at centre back, in all honesty. But I did like the lineup, the three midfield, Rucker, Adams, McKennie. I thought that, Rucker in parts today was looking like a conductor, got a little bit leggy towards the end, which is why he got subbed, but I thought he was decent today. and then Somerville, Jorginho, Nanto. That's the three I want to see up until some Sinistera is back for me. I want to see that front three against Chelsea. Uh, I just the way Shearer was talking about Harrison and Bamford today, you think that we had prime bloody Janola and Shearer in on the bench, but listen, I think that those three, if we give them another game while Rodrigo's out, let's see what they can do against Chelsea. But we'll see, we'll see. Let me just get some super chats before they go. James Simpson saying we just need Rodrigo back and then we will be fine. Rodrigo would definitely help. His finishes this season have proven that. So I'm with you, James. Mr. P in the house. I would like to have seen some continuity for this game and probably just change Bamford for Rutter, fitness permitting. Need composure in front of goal. Yeah, composure is a big part of it, Mr. P. Definitely need that. Michael just saying the difference was that they had Ream and Leeds didn't. How is he that old and that good? USA fan base was for sure divided today. Yeah, for me, you know what it is, Michael? For me, Ream has had like a little bit of a renaissance because I've seen Ream in the Premier League before, and he wasn't like he was is being this season. Like he's having a good season this season, admittedly, but he hasn't been like this in the Premier League anyway. Maybe he is for the national team. You'd know more about that, but Premier League, he hasn't looked like this season, and he was very good today. He's part reason why we didn't score. So yeah, listen, Ream was good for them today, absolutely. Anthony Robinson too, by the way, for them. Hey, if you're talking about adding some more USA players, hey, Anthony Robinson, how you doing? But yeah, listen, I thought they had some good. You know what it was? Fulham had that standard 2-0 victory, didn't they? They had that one where they're under a little bit of threat, but then they come out with a comfortable 2-0 win, and something that I wish that we could do a bit more. But hey. Econ saying Rodrigo scores that Nanto chance, by the way, looked exactly like his goal against Spurs. Yeah, again about Rutter as well. Rutter put in Nanto. I think that's the one you're talking about, right? That's the one where, not sorry, Rutter was countering and then put through Nanto, who hit it first time. It was a pretty standard shot, wasn't it? And standard save. But yeah, I hear you. CJ saying start Rutter next match. I like his potential. I definitely would. I definitely would. Matthew Thomas is saying he hasn't been called up to the US men's national team for years for a reason. Good to see him get into form late in his career. Yeah, exactly, Matthew. He hasn't been like he has been this season, but credit to him, he's having a good season, definitely. Let me just get the super chat in from David. Shout out to you. I'm getting done with the Team USA being Canadian. These guys couldn't beat Canada in the CONCACAF. Is that what it is? Qualifying. They are not skilled on the ball and can't finish. Okay. Um, Blinkyfish saying Rutter better than Barndor for sure. And listen, people criticize Rutter for his substitute performances up until Southampton. Bamford came on today. There was a point at near the end of the game as well where all he had to do was just pass it back to Adams, who was running through, and the ball ballooned off him. Second one as well, where he tried to lay it back and the ball went into space. I mean, listen, it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. Yeah. But hey. Steve saying, don't care about tonight. League far more important. Thought we played okay, and we're going to get better when Gracia gets more input. Yeah. Listen, under Gracia so far in the two games, it's a very, very small sample size, by the way, but we have looked more controlled. We have looked less less chaotic when we've got the ball. We look like we're trying to find space instead of forcing it, and that's good things. That's gonna serve us well in the league. We just need to find that finishing edge. We just have to find it. It's easier said than done, I know, but for me, it wasn't a 2-0 game. But listen, Fulham took their chances. We didn't, and it is what it is. Uh, Jack, I hated watching a shoot today. It was tragic. I know. I hear you. It was bad, and even myself, I was like, "Nah, we're not scoring in this one." I could just feel it. Let me just see. Let me just see. Yeah, McKennie today as well. By the way, I thought he was good. He did the same thing against Southampton, though. Again, where he could have actually be the one taking the shot, but he tried to pass it to Somerville and overcooked the pass. That was disappointing. But I thought McKennie in bits today was good yet again, and we just need to keep on rolling him out there. As long as he's fit, keep playing him for me. Um, in my notes, I've got Shearer talking about Bamford's sick face. I've already explained that one. Um, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Yeah, talked about that. Talked about that. Yeah, there wasn't much notes from me today. The only other one was just before their second goal, and this is a minor thing. This is very very minor, but it just shows you where football is. Before they scored their second goal, Pereira put out a beautiful, beautiful diagonal ball over to their right back Tete, I think it was, and I mean, it was inch perfect. It was literally inch perfect, and it didn't get one piece of applause. I couldn't believe my ears. I was like, "What?" That was a beautiful ball. But then you see in games where a player passes it back to the goalkeeper and they get a round of applause. I mean, it just shows you where football is going. Absolutely in the toilet. Uh, shout out to Jim Corkwell, who's become a member of the channel. Thank you so much, Jim, for the support. To become a member, link is in the description. Much appreciated, Jim. John Knox saying, I don't know why the pundits love Bamford so much. I've said it before about pundits, John, and I'll just quickly say it again. They don't watch the team week in week out. They get assigned to games or whatever their highlights are on Match of the Day or Sports Soccer, and they talk about it and get stats and read them out. And they also go back on reputation and what the player's probably done before. So Shearer's probably still thinking of Bamford with the 17 league goals, and not that he's been injury prone and when he's played missed a bucket load of chances. I didn't hear him bring all that up. What I heard him bring up is that we've got Christian Vieri on the bench. That's what I heard. You know what I mean? It's just lazy punditry. I'll say it's not nice to say, but it is. It's lazy punditry just from getting stats on what you think you know about them and just saying it out on air. But the problem is because people are so easily influenced, especially with guys like Shearer, they'll believe it, and that's it is that's what it feels like. That's what it is. Oh God, I can't put that. Matt saying Bamford has zero mobility, much more fluid. Exactly. For all the things that we say about Bamford in considering his hold up play, Rutter was out on the right at one point and got in the box and created a chance for himself. Bamford isn't able to do that. I just feel like we need to go with a run for Rutter so he can get that goal, get his confidence up, and then we keep rolling him out. I think he's still working his way up to full match fitness, but he's not going to do that by keep on getting 25 minutes off the bench. Let's do it. Let's keep rolling him out. Yeah, that's how I feel. Guru Alvin is starting to warm up. That's how I feel. Andres is saying he really liked the midfield three today. I mean, judging from some of the comments, I don't think a lot of people did. But I hear you. I was excited to see it at the start, and I think it was working well enough. Just have to look for that final pass. It's not just though, is it? It's the most important bit. It's to make that pass right. It's to make sure that you take the shot when you've got the opening, and they didn't do that. Unlike Fulham today, who did. So it's just about getting that clinical edge. But they can only do that if they keep playing with each other. Pause. They can only do that by keep on getting in the lineup together, not chopping and changing. And for me, there was nothing today that said that Harrison and Bamford should come back in the starting lineup against Chelsea. Blinkyfish saying Rutter just needs his first goal, but I thought he had a good game today. Yeah, should have had it as well. That disallowed goal is peak, isn't it? Alex saying Aronson injected some spark when he was on. Yeah, and again, Gracia, he put him on at the time that I was thinking. I did a preview and I said, Aronson maybe he starts, but if he does come off the bench, it's got to be around 20 minutes. I've said that about him, his energy and everything else. It's good to get off tired teams, and he almost was part of that goal in it, the one that Ream did block and then cannon back off McKennie's shins and wide. But listen, yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? It is. Nate say missing Cine big time. Yeah, Sinistera and Rodrigo, Nate. I think those are the two that give you the finishing touches. Those are the two that give you finishing touches. Nanto again. Just got to talk about Nanto. Another quietish game in total, but he's been relied upon more than we probably even imagined when we first signed him. So it was always going to happen. These dips happen. That's why you got to use your squad. Use your squad. Use your other players in the team. And if he needs subbing off, take him off. And that's what he did again. Oh, John H, that was in my notes, and you've just reminded me. Cock was excellent again. I thought again in the air, Robin Cock today was really, really good, and he was really good again. I thought Robin Cock was good. Anybody else agree, disagree? Let me know, because I know we conceded 2 goals, and it's hard to praise defenders when they do that, but nothing was really on Robin Cock for that. But what he had to deal with their crosses and Mitrovic in general, I thought he did really well. Yeah, Pete. Both of our shooters being out at the same time is very Leeds. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, Stephen. It's not. It's not wrong here, Stephen. It's been noticed by teams that Melier stands way farther up than other keepers. Yeah, it has been. And you even saw today Anthony Robinson. I know they were 2-0 up and they started Olayin, which I find very offensive. If I was on the pitch, this is why I could never be a footballer. I'd have two-footed somebody. But listen, even Anthony Robinson's decided to shoot from range. You know, it was blocked by Ailing, I think. But that's what I mean. That everyone was trying their luck, and it's true. I think it's going to be a thing that people notice. So maybe we need him just to step back on his line a bit more. Jim saying, would you have preferred Rocker and McKennie to have switched positions? Yeah, I think they were, Jim. I think there was a couple of times where McKennie was slightly deeper and Rocker was moving forward. Rocker was making a couple of runs today. He had a couple of shots, which is not like what he's been doing previously for us. So I think that they were kind of just interchanging in that midfield. But let's get them get a partnership. If we're going to play free in midfield, let them cook together. Let them cook together. Touch and go is just saying on the goals. Thought Millier was too far off his line for both goals. Fair enough. Fair enough. Dan saying Cock played well, just two very good goals. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, listen, there's not much else. I mean, I'll take your last few comments as we close this up. Dave, just saying Cock and Verba together will get better as well. Yeah, that partnership has got to stay. I think they were probably just holding out Verba precautionary just to make sure that he's good for Chelsea. I definitely agree with that. Definitely agree with that. Thomas saying Rocker on set piece is nice. A few of them were a bit wayward, but they were definitely better than what we've had so far. So I definitely agree with that. If Rocker's going to start, he takes set pieces. Dan Savage, I like Rucker. Passing is on point. Question: is he mobile enough? When you've got McKennie in there with him and Tyler Adams, he doesn't have to be mobile. I liken it to. I always go back to him, but Moutinho, he's not. He's not mobile, but he is a conductor. And even though he's not fast, you know, but he's got a footballing brain. I think Mark Rucker can be in that mold. Just has to just get that final pass just a bit more on point. But I think he works well in a three. He can do what he wants. He can conduct from there. Cloud Dizzle saying Fulham crowd will crap tonight. I thought, but how they usually are though. Yeah, I didn't think much of it, but I mean that's minor, isn't it? But I guess it's minor from what I was saying about the Diag not getting an applause. But yeah, they weren't piping up. And by the way, as soon as that first goal went in, man, we went silent, didn't we? Just shocked everybody like, oh. Michael, super chat again. Thank you, Michael, for the support. Sad about result, but now full focus on the league. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's it. That's all we've got now. I know a lot of you are probably happy about that. Well, we've got it now. So it's just league from here on out. 14 games. I guess if you like the old cliche, 14 cup finals for me. And listen, we've just got to get the points, and I think that we've got enough. I like how we're looking. I know that the finishing needs to improve, but I don't think we're terrible. Again, today we was in the game up until that goal, and hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Bandy's here. When will we employ two centre forwards and make it more difficult for the opponent? Well, Gracia does do that, Bandy. So I would expect to see that at some point. I definitely expect him to play two, but I think it depends on the game. I think it will depend on the game. This isn't a coach that is just going to try his tactic and say against everybody that it's going to work against every single team. It looks like he goes by game basis. We've already seen two different formations in the two games he's taken part in. So yeah, I think we will see two up front eventually, and hope and maybe it will be when Rodrigo's back. But if he's going to play Bamford up front by himself again, which I wouldn't do, but you know how it is, you know his seniority, isn't he? You know, I would like Bamford to have a partner with him because he needs it. He needs a partner up front with him. Noel Lynch with a super chat. Thank you so much, Noel. Love the content, KG. We move on to Chelsea, march on together. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we'll talk about Chelsea in the preview on, I'll be on Thursday for the preview. So hit the notification bell and join me for that too. Stephen Bates is saying, not disappointed with that performance, not clinical enough, but that will come. Rotten looked decent, and we were beaten by two worldies that you can't legislate for. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't disagree with that. That's good comment there, Stephen. Frank, you know, I do want to ask about this before we exit. In general, what did you guys think of Rasmus today? What did you think about Rasmus? Let me know. Glenn saying, look at the fixtures, KG. I just cannot see with our fixtures how we're better than three others. You better not bail on us when it's Plymouth away next season. Well, you know what? I've seen this comment before, by the way, in terms of the fixtures being difficult. Well, if in that case, we should get more points because in the more difficult fixtures, we've been getting the points, haven't we? So in that case, we should be okay. You know what I mean? Fixtures are fixtures, but it's about how you apply yourself in them. And we didn't do enough early in the season. I still look at that run early on in the season where we should have got more points, but listen, those games are done. But I think you can't just go by where we go and who we're against because we've beaten Liverpool away. No one would have fancied that. It's what it is. We just got to play the fixtures. Everyone's got to play each other twice, haven't they? James with the super chat. Thank you. Furpo confidence is high to pull his socks down. Yeah. He's riding high, and so he should. Scott is saying Rasmus was decent. One shocking ball I remember, but Ailing made three last match. That is true. Willis is saying I like the through balls that he was doing early on in the match. Francis though is saying Rasmus was terrible. My heart jumped anytime he was on the ball. Okay. Eamon saying thought he was okay. One dodgy pass. Yeah. Okay. Martin B saying Rasmus not a centre back stood off attackers too much. He did definitely. Yeah, I know that there goes that experiment of thinking that Rasmus could possibly be a centre back instead of a right back. Yeah, let's not do that. JC is saying I don't think he was shocking, but he isn't a centre back. His passing is poor, but so was Adams today. Nate said no, we're staying up, of course, yeah. And James is saying Rasmus poor in defence. Yeah. Okay. All right then. Well, listen, people. I'm going to end it on that one, or shall I end it on a better one? I don't know. Robert saying I thought Ailing put in a good shift. There you go. End it on a on a better one. But yeah, listen, people. We'll be back. I'll be back for the preview come Thursday for the Chelsea game, which is a huge game for both clubs, and we'll go into that in detail on Thursday. We're at the FA Cup 2-0 to Fulham. Could have been playing till tomorrow, and we still wouldn't have scored. It's a shame, but we move on. Listen, people, before you go, hit the like, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and drop your comments below. See you in the next video, people. Peace out.